This is my buddy Tomas from Poland on the left-hand side of this picture, and that's me and Mark on the right-hand side of the picture. He is awesome. He's been all over the world with me. He runs tours through Ebisu, taking people drifting with power vehicles and all this stuff. Hundreds of people have probably done that with him by now. He's been doing it for years. He's an amazing driver. He does stuff with Drift Masters drivers over in Europe. He does stuff with Americans and YouTubers and has done multiple drift weeks and is just all over the place, driven at LZ Tour stuff. I can't even tell you all the stuff that Tomas has done, but he's been around for a long time, rad dude, and I think that you'll really enjoy this video. And this is us doing like 20 car tandem for a Top Gear episode, and he was doing this with us in Japan on Toge, which is mental and one of the most terrifying things that I've ever done. I got at the very front of this line in third place right there, but there's just like a pile of cars coming down behind us. And this is the kind of stuff Tomas is always mixed up in. Just crazy crap all around the world, moments in time that are frozen, that are just like the most beautiful, epic things that I wish I could be there for everything he gets to do, just like I'm sure he wishes he could be there for all the junk I do. And like, we just get to do so much cool stuff, like tandem 20 cars with Osbo and Formula D drivers. There's multiple in this train, multiple Formula D champions from around the world, among other people from all kinds of other series doing amazing stuff. Anyways, that's enough of a preface. Let's get started. And special thanks to BC Racing Custom Coilovers, Volino Tires, ECU Master, KBD Body Kits, and WiseFab. I am so thankful for these companies that support us along with all the drivers and everything else going on. Please go to LoneStarDrift.com to see our current event schedule. We have multiple events coming up really soon. And if you want to do Drift Week, contact me. That's always the thing. We have a Drift Week coming up that's starting in April. So immediately contact me on Instagram if you'd like to do that, Lone Star Drift. And that's it. Let's go. Hello, Lone Star Drift audience. We're here on Drift Week, I think day 4 of drifting.
Yes.
Things are starting to go really fast. Introduce yourself.
My name is Tomas. They call me Gobla. What else I need to know?
Well, first of all, I'll give you a little bit of context and I'll tell you what we're talking about. This man is influential in drifting, has his hands in tons of stuff, is international all over the world doing things, and he's a very interesting person to talk to. So I met him about 10 years ago. I don't even remember where I met you, but probably
2017 in Ebisu.
Oh, okay. So just under a decade ago at Ebisu, and then he invited Chelsea and I and Alexi over to Poland. We went to Poland. He came over to the United States, drove my Mustang, and I think maybe my E36 and a couple of my cars. So he's been to Lone Star Drift events. He's been to Japan with us. I've been to Poland with him. He went on an East Coast Drift Week with us. He's on this Drift Week with us. He's all over the place. And currently, he's running a business taking people on tours of Ebisu and Tokyo Auto Salon in Japan. And he's been scaling this thing. And at first, a few years ago, I'd see him in like one high ace or whatever van of like Polish people just like headbanging through Forest Park, Adatura mountain, whatever region of Japan, having fun, and we go have drinks with him at the beer garden and stuff. And now I hear they have 7 vans full of people or more.
Like total it was 9 rental cars.
9 rental cars? Yeah. So his business is flourishing. He's doing something very interesting. There's all probably these weird currency exchanges. He speaks English so he can work in all these different countries and stuff. Please tell me about your business and how you've been like going on, and like maybe you want to start off like how you got into drifting and stuff first.
Into drifting? I don't know. It's look there. Or...
Oh, look at anywhere you want. Look at me.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Look at me.
So everything started. I started interested in drifting around 2004, 2005, but it wasn't really big thing in Poland. It was like something. Nobody knows it really good. There was people, they were trying to drift, but it was like very more like making burnouts in slow motion than driving like proper drifting. And then it escalates in Poland because one of the guys, he go on a first European Drift Championship. It was at Hockenheim. His name is Pavel, I forgot. He's now the main tech judge at Drift Masters, Polody. His name is Maciek Polody, and he won this championship. And everyone starts interested in drifting that time, and it was like more popular and popular. Next year they do first Polish series, and I wanted to do this, but I have like a newborn child, a family to feed, everything. It was not the good time to start driving, buy a drift car and everything. So it took me like 5-6 years to buy my first proper drift car. It was E30 with a 2.5 liter engine, and I started drifting in the mountains. Mainly for the first like 4 years, I was driving only in Toga roads in Polish mountains. So it was only driving there. And then I started driving into racetracks more and more. And then I flew first time to Japan in 2015. It was like my biggest dream, biggest goal to do. And from then, everything went like worldwide and doing this stuff with you, with all other guys. This year I've been already to New Zealand, to Czech Republic on a couple of events, Poland and Japan 4 times, I think, 4 times in Japan.
Crazy.
Yeah, and now I'm here in the States, and I'm really happy. I'm back here after 3 years after the Drift Week, but after 6 years, I've been last time in Texas. Yeah.
You're back?
Yeah, I'm back.
A couple interesting things. When I went to his hometown, what's the name of the town?
Bielsko-Biała.
I can never say it. Say it one more time.
Bielsko-Biała.
My ear is so bad for that specific name.
Yeah.
It was this beautiful like mountain town, and he took me up in the mountains over to like Austria. And did it go over to Austria?
No. Through the Czech Republic and Slovakia.
Okay, there it was. It was all these amazing little mountain roads that were incredibly tight, and they get snow on them and stuff, and they can go snow drifting. Do you still do snow drifting up there?
No. And the one
Not
thing
officially.
No, I'm not doing it because it's getting so mainstream now that when only there is a snowfall, on these roads when I took you, there is like 100 to 200 drift cars.
What?
Yes. It's,
do the cops come and bug him and
yeah,
stuff?
cops, it's like a shitstorm. So I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to deal with it. So I just stopped driving snow drifting at all.
Oh, it looked insanely cool though.
Yeah, you remember that we were driving through the city and I was showing you the drift cars.
Yeah, there's drift cars everywhere.
Yeah, so
and it was just really shitty E36 like 1.8 or whatever engines with huge light bars on them and like 175 rear tires.
Yeah, because of the snow drifting. This is mainly the cars for the snow drifting, because even if you have like a 4-cylinder 1.8 BMW engine, Beamer, in the snow it's like perfect.
Yeah. It looked really weird to a Texan because people think there's a lot of drift cars in Texas, but there's so much space and so many people, you don't actually ever see them in real life.
Exactly.
But as I drove around, they were just all over the place in the towns. And then you were like, drifting's not as popular in the United States. And we would drive from city to city, like we're going to Warsaw, and there's just drift cars on trailers with like stacks of tires everywhere. We saw that many times.
Many times,
And there was no event that we were going to that we would see them for. They were just random drift cars. It blew my mind.
Yeah, but it was funny. It was only that time, I think, that situation happened. When you and Chelsea were in the car and said, oh, drift car. No.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like fully built drift cars.
Yeah, but now, since you came to Poland in 2018, the scene is massive. Like our grassroots scene is so, I don't know, I don't want to use the wrong word. It's divided, it's splitted into so many parts that almost everyone can find their niche in the drifting. Still in Poland, stance drift is crazy popular, and there is like a lot of guys who are only doing the stance drift. There is more and more people who are trying to do what I'm doing, so this is not like a professional drifting, but we're looking for a grip. We're building cars to drive faster. We're building cars to have more fun and drive like you drive here, and you know, and how we drive in Japan. So it's like divided into many pieces, and also the competitions are getting crazier and crazier each year. So there is like 2 main leagues in Poland, which are like nationals, and then is the Drift Masters, and you can see how many Polish drivers is competing in Drift Masters.
Oh, they're killing it in Drift Masters.
So it's like, it's very huge now. It's skyrocketing. Each year by year is bigger and bigger. And it's also like because of this influencer and because it went so straight into the mainstream, so many new people are interested in drifting and they come into the drift, and the people with the huge money starting doing it. So there is like big money into the drifting, and like I think it's only going bigger and bigger each year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I really like traveling to different regions of the world and seeing that stuff because, like, Americans, one, we don't really think of Poland. Like, it's not on the top of our list of things that we think about. And then we really don't think about Polish drifting. Up until Drift Masters and Worthhouse and all that stuff really put it on the map, it wasn't a thing. And now suddenly, just like James Dean, one person can kind of put an entire nation on the map for something, which is really interesting. And obviously, like, the whole Drift Masters and just, it's not just one person. There's all these people doing stuff, but like, it's crazy.
Not many of you know that Drift Masters is a Polish company.
Yeah.
It's owned by Polish, it's owned by Polish people, so mainly like a Worthhouse is the owner of the, Budmat is the owner of the Drift Masters, and this is like a huge company now, so. You need to come for final round next year for the stadium.
Okay.
Like, I invite you, just come.
Okay.
We will
I want to hang out with you so I don't feel lost and lonely.
Yeah, it will be fun. It will be fun. It's the stadium round in Warsaw. This is something different, like out of this world. Like imagine like 65,000 people at the stadium, all watching drifting. It's crazy. Like it's really, really good. Mm-hmm. This year was a little worse than last year because there was a huge storm. They told there will be the huge storm, so they need to make a decision if they're closing the roof or no. And because they cannot like close and open the roof very freely, and they need to predict it 2 days in front. So they closed the roof, and the whole competition was on a wet surface, but still the cars were driving very fast. Mm-hmm. The grip was very good, and the show was amazing. So still was very entertaining to watch. It was crazy.
It is bonkers how much grip they have in those cars and how sticky the tires. They're even more sticky and more aggressive than Formula D.
Yeah, because
it's
they
nuts.
Driving on Valinos mainly, and they are like technically 120 treadwear, but we know everyone that they're
Have
less.
you driven on them?
Yeah, I drift once in the rain and Peter's cars, and they were like, you feel like driving on dry, like it's crazy. Feeling is very, very, very different when we know from our perspective cars.
Yeah. All right, so you're one of those people that's been, first of all, you said something about the stance stuff. When I first met you, you were like, I like camber in the back of my car. Are you still that kind of guy that likes camber?
No.
Nope. Because I was like, that's stupid. And you're like, no, I like it, blah, blah, blah. And now you changed and I was right.
No, everything's zero. Like I'm stupid because I drive zero toe out and zero camber in the back. I like it. I know many people don't like it, but I don't like towing cars. I don't know, like it's more neutral how it acts, how my cars are set up. Yeah. So that's me. But we use zero camber because of the tire life, like mainly, and the grip is also very good. So, and I use very soft suspension now. So on BMW I run like a 5 kg springs in the rear. Front are like 10, 12, depends on a setup. So it's like a different driving than we used to do when you were there.
Yeah.
Like it's totally different. We change a lot of stuff on our cars since then. So
makes sense.
Yeah, we progress. We find new stuff, we look for the new stuff. But still my main goal still is to keep the cars reliable and safe, and they will not break. What issue I had last time, I broke like 4 transmissions this year, and I was really angry, and we didn't know why. And we find out that this was the weakest point of all my drivetrain in my car.
On the GZX 100s?
No, in BMW.
Oh, okay.
So now I have like a big transmission, big half shafts, big differential, everything works together nice, and the car drives perfectly. So
awesome.
It's good. Yeah.
All right, now we're going to talk about what I should have started the whole title of this video with. So we kind of beat around the bush, gave him a lot of backstory and everything for you guys so you could get to know him. The reason why I pulled him aside, other than he's my friend and I want to chat with him, is because he's becoming a more and more influential person within drifting that is making it a business, and he's making it a business in a unique way. He's not just like YouTubing or selling merch or doing something like that. He created a business where he takes people on tours around the world, focused in Japan right now, from Poland mostly, but all around the planet,
all over.
Funneling them into Ebisu. He has cars, he has rooms, he has airplane rides, he has food, he has parties, he has friendship, he has networking, he has like
music where they're all partying and makes people feel included and stuff. Like your people are always having more fun than my people. And I don't do it as a business. I just take the winners of the Texas Street Legal and Pro-Am
Yeah,
series
but the
for Lone Star
main
Drift.
problem different how you treat it. You treat it, you say that this is a business. I never thought about it like a business. It was made more from the passion and from my need to go into Japan. And my perspective was that if I help another people make these dreams come true, which I have, it will help me keeping my dream.
Yeah.
Survive and be alive, so I can live in this dream all the time and I can go in there. So this is my perspective. Like,
So it's free and you don't charge anybody and make no money?
No, no. I'm not hiding that I have some money on the top, but I do it mainly because I want to pay all the bills in Japan. I want to be there, and I want to keep this thing running and live in this dream. How I called it.
Okay, explain to me how the business works.
So mainly, if you're interested in going to Japan, and you don't have like idea how to do it, you just contact me through the messenger or Instagram, and I arrange almost everything for like US guys, Australia guys, New Zealand guys. I don't do flights, so because it's not my territory, I don't know a lot how to arrange flights from these countries. But if you are from Europe, I arrange flights, everything for you. So when you are from the States, we meet at the airport in Japan. I grab you, you're in a luggage, and we start in traveling around Japan. So I show you Tokyo, Yokohama, all garages, places, Daikoku. We are going to see some tourist stuff also, because we're going first time probably to Japan, so we need to see some tourist stuff. And then we head into Ebisu and we have fun during the Matsuri time. And Matsuri are getting crazy and crazy each year. They're coming back to the point they were back in the days. So this autumn, like a couple weeks ago, there was almost 740 drivers.
That's
like,
crazy.
It's crazy. So it's really escalate very big. So it's coming to the old days and it's fun. So you pay me and I arrange almost everything. If you want to drive at Ebisu, I can help you find a car. If you want to buy it, I can help you rent the car from me or one of my friends, because we all have multiple cars. So I arrange you for this. You pay me and you came to Japan like with the plan, with everything, and you just don't need to think about anything mainly.
Okay, rad. How much does it cost to rent a car per day?
For
Like a JZX 100?
Yeah, for US.
With tires, fuel, everything?
No, I'm like without tires, without fuel, without the Ebisu fees, the normal like only renting from me, it's around, I don't want to be, probably it's around $600, $700 US per day.
That's cheap.
Yeah, plus one tire is around $90 US at the moment. Tank of fuel full is like 60. And
More like,
Ebisu,
okay.
something like this. And Ebisu entry is between 55 to $80 US.
But it's going to probably, for a day of drifting on one set of tires, be probably about $1,500. Something like that.
Probably less.
Yeah, but I mean, probably not far from it.
yeah.
And if you go through multiple tires, I typically go through probably 2 tanks of gas and 4
day?
tires a day. Yeah, I drive a lot.
Yeah, so I don't like, I try to keep people
Not driving that much?
Not driving that much, because you need to remember that Ebisu is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So we need to, cars needs to survive.
Yeah.
So I try to not put much abuse on the cars, so they will be working. So I just try to keep people like down. Don't
keep
like,
those cars going.
Yeah, keep those cars going. Make a break for yourself, for your mentally. Think about what you've done wrong, what you want to achieve, and then came back to the track like in another 10-15 minutes. Make a couple laps, go out from the track, think about it, maybe change the track for a different one. You know.
I stay on track for like a half tank of gas per session.
I know. Like, don't do it. The cars.
You're like, not as a rental.
Don't make abuse on the cars.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you rent the cars from me, I don't look on your hands what you are doing. If something breaks, it's just obvious you need to pay for some brakes. But like, and there is like different companies which like don't allow you to do the clutch kicks on the cars.
Yeah.
Don't allow you to thumb them. Don't allow you
Oh,
to.
I forget that. Some of the companies that make cars don't allow clutch kicks. That's wild. That'd be dangerous not to be able to clutch kick a
So
car.
you don't have these things when you take car from me, but you know, obviously you need to be responsible for the damages you make on a car.
Yeah.
But the cars are not mint, so you need to be very carefully about this.
Okay.
Only from the mechanic perspective, I try to keep the cars running and be good, but outside, you know, it's a different.
So how many total people have you taken to Japan?
Total?
Yeah.
Now it will be almost 200.
Wow. So this is an actual real business. It's like churning out numbers.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
scaling too. So in another year or two, you could be another 200.
Yeah, probably.
And how many people actually rent cars out of those people that do that?
1/4, quarter.
Okay, about a quarter of the people.
Quarter of
And is this your full-time gig now? Gig means job.
Yeah, I understand it. I can say it's my full-time job now.
Okay, cool.
I have business back in Poland, but now it's more become like a side job than a main job. So this is like the main job I'm doing, and the rest is like on the side.
Can you continue scaling this?
I don't want to make it too big.
Yeah.
I just want to make it running, so we can do this, we can progress, we can do more stuff. And as we talk, maybe we will do some US tours, maybe we could take more people somewhere. But from my perspective, the best will be to buy my own cars here, to operate it here from my own, not renting from somebody, because it's like easier to manage everything, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to think about how to do it good.
Oh, are you going to do it through Drift Week?
Yeah, I want to do it.
You're like, yeah.
There's so many people who want to do it, but they are, in the same time, they are afraid. I don't know why, because it's nothing to be afraid.
Oh my God, I could steal his business model and run renters in like vans and buses and bus them around with 4 rental cars, and they get 10 laps each on each track. Oh. No, I'm joking. I don't want to do that. That sounds like a nightmare for me.
Yeah, for you, yes. I know. I know you too much, so it sounds.
You're more of a people person.
I'm a people person. I don't know. Like,
Everybody loves you.
yeah, people like me. I don't know.
You're like, I don't know why.
I don't know why, but I can predict only.
You're like a cuddly teddy bear. They just want to
Yeah.
like give you hugs when they see you.
Like I was always open to the people. I wanted to have new friendships and met new people. That's why people like feel it probably, and that makes me that allows me to be here, to be like in New Zealand now, going to Australia, you know, meeting all you guys, all these people all around the world, and it's crazy. I'm really appreciate this situation because it was like a living the dream.
Cool. I got a slight distraction for a second. So what's the next chapter? Are you just gonna see how far this one tour guide thing goes in drifting? Because it's such a unique thing. There's nobody doing tour guide stuff in drifting.
No.
And like Power Vehicles, you work with Power Vehicles, right?
Yes.
You want to say that? So Power Vehicles makes this possible because they're your liaison to the track, to storage, to garages, to holding the cars, to auctioning the cars, to getting them.
Without their help and like Abisu, we will be not able to do it. The next thing is what we want to do. I don't know if we will start to do it this year, but for next year, like 2026, we want to start touring around Japan. So
to different tracks?
Yeah, we are arranging the truck companies and everything now. And
I want to go.
Yeah, and
I wanna go.
It will be probably possible that we will go for a 2-week tour.
I want to go.
And we will make like 5 or 6 different race tracks.
I want to go.
Yeah, so it will be probably for 10 to 20 people. Depends on how many big trucks we will have. Because, you know, we cannot take our cars from Abisu and drive them on the road. It's almost impossible. So we arrange these truck companies, and probably it will be possible, and we start making this. It will be not cheap, but still it won't be expensive.
Yeah.
So
But it'll be difficult because you won't have tools, you won't have the ability to.
No, we will have everything.
No, I mean, you won't have. How do you say? It's very difficult to deal with the language barriers and cultural barriers in Japan. Like, say you're at Abisu, you would think being at Ebisu would be very easy if you rock up and you're like, I'm just going to go drift and change tires. And then you're like, oh my God, no one will change my tires. And no one will let me use a tire machine.
No.
And like, I am blacklisted from using a tire machine at this facility and I cannot change tires. You're like, what am I going to do? Like some very simple things like that. If you need a specific socket, like a specific socket could be impossible to get at Ebisu.
Yes. So my cars are full of tools.
Yeah.
And each time we're going to Japan, I have almost my full luggage is full of some tools and things I need to take there. And also I'm giving people who are flying with me things we should take. So last time we were delivering by the plane, we were on our luggage, we got the seats, everything from Poland because we are big guys and in Japan, you know, the seats are very small. So we took everything from Poland, almost everything on our luggages and we fly with this to Japan. So
is it to the point where you could start building cars in Poland and shipping them over so they're more to your people? Or is it better to drive Japanese cars that they would enjoy more? Because the cultural adventure thing.
Like building the car in Poland and shipping it to Japan, it's totally cost not worth it. I don't know. Say it's stupid. But we are still thinking to make a copies of our BMWs, which we have in Poland, in Japan. So we're thinking about like prepare the sets of parts for each car and just buy the shells in Japan and put everything from Poland to the cars.
Extremely cool.
Yeah, so because like I got friends, my friend Odessa CNC, he's making like angle kits, then another good friend is making the clutches and the gearbox adapters, everything. So we can almost do everything by our own, taking the stuff from Poland and just build the cars in Japan. So this is the goal for this year, that we want to build like at least 2 BMWs there and see how they will act with all the JZXs and how it will work.
Very cool.
I have only concern about the north course, the uphill, because this is the only road we cannot probably keep up with the JZs. But the rest of the tracks I think will be easy.
Yeah.
And the best I don't know, the best what was shown was Luke Fink took the Falcon now, and the Falcon was the natural aspirated 200 something horsepower car, and he was keeping with all JHGs and everything. So
cool.
I think that our light BMWs may be as fast as the JZs. We need to see it. In Poland, technically, when we drive with the fast cars, we're keeping up with them. So because we use different tires, different gear shows, so maybe it will be working. We need to see it. We need to try it. And the third option, the second option for the cars are these in Japan, which are getting popular more and more. And everything you have there, what you need for these. So they are, I think, easy to operate.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the typical bill for someone, if you want to tell me, for someone that's going to Japan with you for 2 weeks, if it's all turnkey in a package, this is your sales pitch, with driving for 5 days or something like that, with all their tires, everything. What's the typical bill
probably
for
he will spend like 10 grand.
Oh,
US
that's
dollars.
cheap.
Yeah.
That's really cheap if they can drive for 5 days.
Yeah. So they will probably spend 10
without
grand.
airfare.
Without air, yeah.
Okay, about 10 grand.
Yeah.
That sounds like crazy to some people, but that's actually cheap to go drive at Ebisu. Because like for my own first trip, I had to buy a car, I had to do all this crazy stuff.
It's much more
Gets
money.
way more.
Yeah.
Even when the car was 6 grand, it was way more than that. Because you have to prep the car and everything else. Very cool. Is there anything you want to talk about before we finish?
If you're thinking about doing Drift Week, I should definitely recommend you. You need to do this.
Oh, good.
Because
I thought he was going to sell something for himself. He's trying to sell something for me.
No. This is, I think that what you've done to the community and to all the people like us, it's crazy, and these events are the best.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm sad that I missed so many of the Drift Weeks, but it was impossible to come here.
Yeah.
But goal for next year is to buy a car here, have a storage here in the States, maybe 2 cars, because the Night Ride boys say they don't want to buy another car. So we're thinking about buying 2 similar cars and have like spare parts for the cars. So we'll split them and just do more US stuff, because it's cool. For us, it's really cool. It's totally different vibe. And what I told to my friends that coming to Texas is something different. It's different than LA, different than like a Connecticut, New York. I love Texas. I love coming here. You are so friendly, and all the guys here are so good. So I love it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and the Lausanne was always very good for me. So I'm trying to.
Thank you.
I'm really appreciate this because you show me some big part of this world. And when I came second time here in 2019, there was like a Texas round at Texas Motor Speedway just after Formula Drift, and this week here in Texas was amazing. I really love it.
Good. I really enjoyed my Polish time. So the last thing I was going to say is he was talking about so much about Ebisu, and he's been going over and over, and he's enjoying Drift Week. The reason I kind of created Drift Week is I did like 10 years of Ebisu. Sometimes I was going twice a year and driving at the track for 17 days, and I'd spend like 30 days in Japan, just like you do. It gets very repetitive. I've done thousands of laps on North Course, and I was getting to the point where I was like, man, I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over, and I'm never gonna go branch out and go see all the rest of the tracks in the world. I like went to Poland, and I went to so many cool places. I went to Thunder Park or whatever, whatever, in Australia. You know, I'm traveling around doing all these tracks all around the world, and I'm like, man, I need to get tracks done faster. And Drift Week gave me the ability to do that.
Yeah.
And like, if I could go to Japan and go do that truck circuit with you and go do a bunch of tracks, I've been to Nikko, I've been to Odaiba, but I didn't drive at Odaiba for D1. I did go drive at Meihan. I've obviously done lots of Ebisu stuff. I was gonna say, I've been driving in Japan for 10 years, but it's so hard to get your car to the other tracks. And then you get so much less driving. I just keep my car at Ebisu and do the same thing all the time.
Yeah, so from my time perspective, is almost 10 years driving to Ebisu too. I'm not driving so much there as I used to back in the days, because I'm used to the place, but I really enjoy being there. And I know where I need to go at what specific time to have a best time. So I'm only showing at the moments, you know.
3 p.m. Sunday, Nishi. Let's go crash our car. Let's go.
Let's go, yeah. So this is
10
me.
p.m. North Course, Saturday night.
This is me, and I love these vibes, and I just love doing this.
Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I look forward to the next 10 years of having this conversation.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because like, we come back and we will look back at this and you're like, God, you're like, I can't believe how much everything changes and what we accomplish. And like, most people sit at home and like just try and build a little BMW drift car. And then I meet people like you that are just like all over the place doing a million hours of labor, having creative ideas. You know, like, it's such a difference between one dude doing whatever on their own versus the guy that's like trying to run a business and figure out some creative path to do it, and how much work and structure and different communication you need between hundreds of other people and everything else. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And even when we first met, and even if you first been to the Poland, it's so much things change. Even political, now the war, everything. It's like it's really hard. Then the COVID hits. I think the COVID hits drifters and all our community very much. And it was not good time for many people. So if you still like have some problems after COVID, just try to push yourself a little more, and maybe it will be better like next year. Fingers crossed for everybody. If you hustle, you just need to try push it more.
It was weird because COVID was actually, it sounds like for the same thing for you.
Yeah, for me it was like a disaster. Like.
Well, I was going to say it was a complete disaster for me for lots of reasons. We lost tracks, we did all this stuff, but it pushed me in creative destruction to create new things and work really hard, because I was like anxiety about like drifting falling apart or anything else. And I had to be creative and push really hard, and I worked even harder and more creatively, and just like, you know, had to do things completely different than I normally did. And it was actually really good for me in the end, because it forced creative destruction and everything else.
Yeah, so I've lost a lot of money because of the COVID.
Oh, so did I.
Because I've already have booked tickets to Japan. I've lost the money. I took something back, but it was like only little from the whole big part of it. And then I've lost the clients, lost opportunity to earn some money. The bills were growing and we couldn't have any way to pay them. It was like really hard time, but we survived. We're in a good position now. Everything's coming back to normal. It's escalating, skyrocketing. I'm happy, so it's good. Good time for everything. And even with you, like yesterday here at Hallet, we can see there was so many drivers. Everyone have time of their lives, happy, smiling. Like it's good good vibes. It's really nice.
Drift Week is very similar. We need to end this in a second but I don't really need to. But so he can go drive. Ebisu and like Drift Week are built off the same thing of like the fear of missing out, good vibes. This is where your international friends are, and if you don't get to come hang out with all these people, you're just like, oh, you see it online, you're like, oh, I want to be there. Just like I was watching Matsuri a few weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, I want to be there, but I have to work on Drift Week, and I have a 3-year-old and all these other things. It's based upon the vibes and the feelings and the best times.
We are with Aaron almost in the same age, and he has 3-year-old, and my daughters are 18 and 13. So I'm in a different point of my life than you are.
Midlife crisis.
No, I don't.
No, me.
You?
Yeah.
Maybe. Like I feel like I'm much younger than I'm like in real life, and many people think that I'm younger than I am. That's good, but you know, it's.
Oh my
hard.
God, you could have a grandchild really soon.
Stop. I think not with my older daughter. No, she's like very modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Sophisticated. I don't know, it's a good name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, go drive.
Thank you very much
fun.
for everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
audience. If y'all made it to the end, thank you so much. I enjoy having these conversations. And let me show you something. Can you focus on this side?
This is the only slicky thing the Valino's making.
The only thing that's not really sticky? The only thing that doesn't wear out after 5 minutes of use? Where's Tomas? Tomas was the absolute hero of that session. He looked amazing. He's talking to Osmo right now. Whoop. Tomas, you were the hero of that session. Good job.
It was good?
Yeah, it was amazing. Thank you very much, Osmo.
Thank you.
Boom. That was really good.
I'm telling you. All the JCXs and they're gradually